Okay, so, what value do you think your folks most instilled in you?
I don't know, kind of honesty and straightforward stuff. You know, integrity.
Okay. Were you considered rich, poor, or middle class? And were there times that were tough for all of you?
Well, things were tight for all of us because Dad, evidently, early in their marriage, was out of work quite often during the Depression. There were periods of time when he was out of work.
Okay.
But of course, I was just a baby, so
Okay.
I didn't feel that. I never felt like we were poor, but I certainly didn't feel like we were rich either. We didn't. I never, thought, oh, I wish I had that, and asked them for it or anything.
Right.
And I don't even remember Christmas presents. There weren't any big, expensive things, that's for sure.
Okay.
I don't remember specific Christmas presents. I remember it was a big thrill when I was in high school that Dad had a business trip to Canada and he brought a short sleeve cashmere sweater home for each one of us. And that was a biggie.
Wow.
To have one like that.
Wow.
I might have been even late grade school, but I still have that sweater, I think.
Wow.
Somewhere.
That's neat. What was your first job?
Working in the flower shop downtown Portland, and I got to work on the Rose Festival float and help
That's
put flowers
cool.
on the float, and that's when I stepped in a pail of glue accidentally and completely ruined one of my shoes, of course.
Oh, wow.
But
Did
that
you-
was a lot of fun.
Did you get your job because you wanted a job, or that your parents thought it would be a good idea to have a job?
I honestly don't remember. I wanted it. I'm trying to think whether it was a regular, it must have been a summer job because, and I did work in an office too, 2 different other summers. But the flower shop I think was the first one, and I loved it. And I got to work during busy times like around Christmas time, around Mother's Day,
Oh, so
Easter.
really nice occasions.
But Mother's
yeah.
Day, I was packing orchid corsages in so many boxes that I didn't ever like orchids particularly.
Oh my
after
gosh, that's
that.
so
There
funny.
was just so darn many orchids.
Wow. Well, this leads into my next question. What was your favorite job before your professional career, and why?
Probably working as a recreational director in a city park.
Oh, I didn't even know you did that.
Yeah, and
Wow.
I just loved the kids, and I especially loved 8-year-old boys. They were just so special.
Aww.
It was a neat age for boys.
Wow. What'd you do in that job?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even remember everything I did. I just know I enjoyed it.
8-year-old boys. Okay, Mom. Who was your hero in life, your real life hero, and tell me why?
Gosh, I really don't know.
Who did you admire?
There wasn't any particular other parent of any of my friends or anything.
No, not even thinking about just childhood, but in life in general. Who was your sort of hero or model?
I admired Joanne Niehaus a lot because she had all those kids and she did so many things with them. She found time to be with each one of them. And she found time to always take them out for walks and do things with them. And she found time to take them to special historical places, interesting
Wow,
places.
that's amazing when you think.
she
How
was-
many kids? 13?
12.
12, okay. That's really
I
amazing.
would say she was because she also found time for her faith. And she taught CCD. And
Wow.
yeah, she just,
That really is amazing.
how she ever did all that, I have no idea. It just
Well, I think
blows
her
my mind.
kids had a lot of responsibilities, so it
Well,
took
yeah,
a
the
lot of
older-
her responsibilities
the older
off of
kids-
her.
The older kids had responsibilities of helping with dinner and
Yeah.
getting things ready and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But she went back to school during that time too.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding me.
She got a, I guess it was a master's degree from Lehigh.
Wow. Okay, who was the most famous person you ever met?
the president of China.
And that was fairly recent.
That was in 2000. And
He just happened to be hanging out where you were, huh?
No, we were way up in the mountains.
And he was there.
And he was there with an entourage. And so when we got to this one road we wanted to take.
Are you sure they didn't just tell you he was the
No, we had no idea he was there.
president of China?
No, he really was.
He really was, okay.
And we had no idea ahead of time that he was there. But we got to this point where we wanted to turn on this path, and we were stopped and said that he was there with his entourage, and we couldn't go there. And then the man who told us that, who was a guard, was talking to us, and there were just some of us. The whole gang were only 21 of us, and there were about half of that. Janet wasn't even there. She stayed back,
she didn't
but I
meet him.
did the climb,
Wow.
the height. And so then word got back to him. He sent the word ahead, I guess, that we were there or something. I don't know. He was interested in who we were and where we were, what we were doing there. And so he sent the word ahead, and then Jean Zemin was his name. I don't know how to spell it even right now.
Okay.
But he heard that, and he wanted to meet us.
Wow.
So we walked over to where he was with the entourage, and they had opened up a pathway to walk right up to him and shake his hand.
Wow.
So that's the most famous person I ever met.
Okay, what was your nickname and why?
They called me Myrnie when I was real little, and I think some of the relatives did that, but probably because my mother's name was the same as mine.
Oh,
Mary.
Myrnie.
But it didn't stick.
Okay,
I wasn't
Myrnie.
called Myrnie I think I was called Myrnie by a couple of aunts or something. for a
Okay.
while, but it didn't stick very long.
Okay.
And then my dad called me Blue Jay because I cackled like one.
It's funny. I didn't know that was a
And he
reason.
called Janet Peeper.
Do you know why?
I don't even know. No, I don't think she went around peeping.
I should hope not. Okay. Okay. Name some of your all-time favorite songs. Just a couple of them.
Oh, Buttermilk Sky, because my dad loved this
Aw.
so much. And Give Me Land, Lots of Land, Under Starry Skies Above. Don't
Is that a
Fence Me
song
In.
or is that a
These
different
are going-
song?
Oh, that's a song.
Oh, okay. Give me land, lots of
Don't Fence
land.
Me In. Don't Fence Me In.
Oh,
is the name
Don't
of the
Fence
song.
Me In.
You've heard me sing that.
Okay, yeah. I
Yeah,
have.
those
You're
are
not-
my
please don't
favorite
break out.
songs from way back
Okay.
long ago, and I
Don't
don't know
Fence Me
really
In.
what my favorite would be right now.
Okay, how about name some of your favorite all-time movies and why?
I didn't see movies when I was growing up. I saw probably, not even a half a dozen.
I'm not necessarily talking about your childhood.
Yeah, but all-time favorite movie, oh gosh. It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, it's one of mine.
Yeah. Oh boy. I don't remember movies with very much detail after I've seen them.
Okay.
Like everything else. So.
And how about your favorite radio program growing up?
Well, growing up, it was Jack Benny on Sunday night because I would be doing my math homework in the dining room and listening
How do you
to
think
him
that
on
impacted
Sunday
your
night.
math homework?
Oh, it was fine.
Okay. What kind of responsibilities did you have growing up?
Within the home, I had to make my bed, and I had to wash the dishes. Mom didn't have us working in the kitchen, like helping with preparing dinner at all, so I didn't learn anything about
That
cooking.
explains a lot.
I didn't learn anything about cooking.
Just kidding.
What did you just
That
say?
explains a lot.
Oh, thanks a lot.
I'm just kidding.
Oh dear, I don't even know how I learned how to.
So that was it, making your bed and washing the dishes.
Mom
think you got
had
off
to-
easy.
Well, listen, my allergies were so bad to especially to house dust and
Okay.
stuff. Mom had to take me out of the house somewhere when the cleaning lady was cleaning.
Wow.
I wasn't allowed to dust anything. Oh, I know, a big, huge responsibility of mine, though, for years was cleaning the whole bathroom, the floor, the bathtub, the toilet, the
Wow.
sinks, everything.
You do a good job of that.
I
now.
had to do that thoroughly every Saturday morning, and that used up my Saturday
Okay.
morning. I did a thorough job.
I
I got
remember.
those things polished better than they ever had looked before I
Wow.
started.
Before
on.
they were even bought.
Yeah.
Did kids ever tease you? And what about?
Not really. Not really.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I don't recall them teasing each other, or I don't recall any bullying.
Hmm.
And I think I would have known about it. There was one girl that wet her pants a couple of times in like 1st or 2nd grade or something,
Mm-hmm.
but no one even gave her a real hard time over it. No, and there was another girl who moved into our grade school from another grade school, and that was in 7th grade, I think, and she wore lipstick.
Uh-huh.
So people behind her back kind of thought that was awful and commented on it, but I don't think anyone bullied her over it.
Okay.
But you know, the school she came from, that's how they did it.
Yeah.
You know, they wore lipstick there, but we didn't.
Okay. Did you ever have any insecurities?
I was shy. I was very shy.
But
I
just
don't
even growing up into adulthood, did you have any insecurities? And then my next question is, how did you overcome them?
Oh, well, I can't think of anything in particular.
Wow, really?
I don't remember any big thing, no. Not that I felt totally confident either, but I don't remember having anything that was hanging over me heavy or anything.
Okay. That's a pretty great way to live. What college did you choose and why?
Oregon State, because I wanted to be I thought then I wanted to be in nursing. Oregon State, of the 2 state colleges, was the one that would be for any health-related things and science-related
Okay, so
science-related things.
Okay, so you know you have to sing the fight song now.
I'm sorry, what?
You have to sing the fight song now.
I do? I'm a beaver born and a beaver bred, and when I die I'll be a beaver dead. So it's rah-rah for OSC, rah-rah for OSC, rah-rah for OSC. And now it's OSU, but I imagine they say that.
All right. How did your family feel about you going to college?
Oh, they were happy with it. And there was a Mother's Weekend, and there was a Father's Weekend, and you know, they enjoyed that. We were about 2 hours away, I think, is how long it took.
But you were the first one to go to college. There wasn't any...
I remember when I went off to college, Mrs. Cruz got tears in her eyes, Harriet's mom.
Oh.
Saying goodbye to me and knowing I was off to another adventure and I wouldn't be around.
Well, where was Harriet going?
Well, Harriet's a year younger in school.
Oh.
Not a whole year
Isn't
younger.
that interesting that you remembered Mrs. Cruz getting teary-eyed, but
Yeah.
your parents were just like, see you later, Marion.
Well, they drove me down, so, you know, I had them for a while yet.
So what helped you determine what you were going to study?
I wanted to help people, and I wanted something in science, so I thought I wanted to be a nurse. My mother had a good friend, somebody in the Bridge Club, I think, who was a nurse, and she tried to talk me out of it.
Really?
My mom wanted her to try to talk me out of it, I think. I don't know. But that made me all the more determined. But then after I went into the actual nurses training, in fairly short order, I decided, no, I don't
What made you decide that?
Because I found out that a nurse had to have the doctor's permission to do almost everything.
You like to be in control.
Like if a patient wanted another pillow, you'd have to get the doctor to say it was okay.
Do you think that's the way it still is?
That's not how it is now,
Oh, okay.
I'm sure. The nurses have a lot more
Wow.
clout now.
So then what happened when you decided you didn't want that anymore? What happened?
Well, I also didn't like where I was living. I was isolated up on top of a hill, and there were only about 10 of us, and I didn't relate to the other girls that much either.
Okay.
So that was part of it too, but that was what determined it though, is not having enough clout on your own. So I went back to Oregon State and thought, well, maybe I'll be a medical secretary. I took shorthand and typing. Shorthand was a total loss. That was a disaster.
Huh.
But that's when I learned to type, and that's something that's good to have for the rest
absolutely.
of your life. And I also, I went to some kind of a counselor and took a aptitude test to see what I would, you know, where I would fit and what I would be good in.
Uh-huh.
Guess what I came out in?
I can't imagine. What?
Forestry.
Oh, that's because you like trees.
Because I love trees and I love the woods.
Probably every answer you had trees, trees.
And so he called the head of, he didn't ask me would I want to do that. And he called the head of the forestry department, and they said, I'm sorry, we won't take women anymore because we never could find jobs for them when they got out.
Oh, that's awful. So
I wasn't heartbroken
were
because I
you-
had decided that's what I wanted
okay, but
anyway.
then
And
that
then
must
it
have
was-
been sort of a tumultuous
Well,
time,
and-
not knowing what you wanted to do.
So that would have been my junior year.
Wow.
You know, because I had 2 years of pre-nursing. You know,
Yeah.
the right courses for that before that. But then that spring, it might have even been spring break when I was home. I don't remember if it was then or it was in June.
Uh-huh.
A daughter of a second cousin of my mom's and her girlfriend were visiting my folks. They were there for the evening and dinner and everything. And the girlfriend was a physical therapist.
Huh.
And I said, oh, what's that? And asked her all about it. And I asked one question after another. And then I thought, that's what I want to do.
That is amazing. That was
That was
meant
such
to happen.
a godsend.
That was meant to
Yes,
happen.
that was meant to happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love those sort of chance.
Yeah. And so
Amazing.
then I quickly got busy and wrote and applied. I found out which schools had physical therapy programs and wrote to University of Colorado and Stanford. And University of Colorado I heard from first, and I was on the waiting list for there.
Wow.
And Stanford
Might
accepted
not
me.
have been.
And then my mom and her girlfriend drove me down to Stanford. But they had to drive me down. I had to start late because that's when I had that infection in my leg and was in the hospital for 11 days.
Oh, that's awful.
I had
Changing to a new
thrombophlebitis, so I had to
changing to a new school
arrive
and being
there about a
late.
week late.
Oh, that's awful.
And all
Mom.
and they had all the PT students in one little area of the dorm.
Oh.
And I
nice.
never really fit in with all of them.
Well, because you missed the whole first week.
Yeah, but I got to be very good friends with Paula, who was from Quito, Ecuador, and with another woman who was from Australia.
Well, that's cool.
And I don't know, I fit in okay with other people, but you know, wasn't a part of that.
Well,
But
because of those
in a
missing
way, it's
out.
kind of good.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it was. It's not like they were all tightly bonded, but they were more so than I could be.
Yeah.
Because I still was using, was I using crutches? I still had my leg wrapped. Yeah, I think I was using crutches or something. I wasn't using a walker. Probably used crutches for a while. For a while there, I had to take a shower with my leg outside of the shower stall for a couple more weeks at least.
Tell me again how you got that wound, because that.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was when I was on a date in Oregon State, and we were going to go down to the shore, and there it was a double date, and we stopped along the highway. I don't know for what reason, and it was wet and kind of rainy. I don't know if it was actually raining, but it was wet ground anyway.
Mhm.
And I was acting like a dog that gets out and gets all excited and runs around. And I was acting kind of like that. I was so excited to be out in
And
the
you weren't
woods
drinking?
and with the trees. No, not at
Okay.
all.
Okay.
And so I took a couple steps down the slope, and I slipped because everything was real slick and slippery. I probably stepped on a slippery log or something, and I tumbled head over heels down the embankment part way. I mean, I couldn't keep going because an old snag rammed into my leg here, and that stopped me. And then they had to take me to a doctor. They had to call a doctor and it was a Sunday. The doctor had to go into his office, and he didn't appreciate it at all.
Oh.
In this little tiny dinky beach town.
Oh.
And then he cleaned it out somewhat and sewed it up tight.
Oh.
So that was the beginning of all that mess.
Oh.
And then it developed a bad infection when I was home at Christmas time after being at Stanford.
Uh-huh.
And I had to get it cleaned out. I guess I did that with a doctor right there at Stanford.
Well, that's probably a better
And he
facility.
and there was a pocket of dirt in there the size of his index finger
Oh.
that
That's
had never gotten out because the
awful.
guy had stitched it up tight.
It's awful.
So
And that's why you
and
have.
that's why I ended up having the vein stripping on this
Yeah.
leg too.